All right, hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It's Niger once again, and welcome back to System Shock Radio. As always, I got some talks for you guys today. Hey, if this is, of course, your first episode of System Shock Radio, welcome. If not, welcome back. But if you are indeed new here, what we do here on System Shock Radio, for the most part, is we talk about a variety of things. We talk about some nerd stuff, some current events, and so we do some pro wrestling. We do some inspirational stuff. So if that is your kind of thing, please consider hitting that subscribe button and as well as dropping a like and a comment. But without further ado, let's get right into it as I take a sip of my water there. So first thing on the agenda is that we are getting a Transformers and GI Joe crossover movie. This is an excerpt from IGN regarding it. It says, following a tease during the ending of Transformers Rise of the Beast, Paramount has officially confirmed at CinemaCon 2024 that a Transformers and G.I. Joe crossover movie will be released in theaters in 2025 or 2026. While we didn't learn anything else about the movie, it was confirmed that Steven Spielberg will be an executive producer on the project, and Lorenzo D. Bonaventura, Mark Vardian, and if I mispronounce any of these names, I do apologize. Mark Vardian, Michael Bay, Tom DeSanto, and Don Murphy will serve as producers. For those unaware, the ending of Transformers Rise of the Beast saw Noah being interviewed for a security job by a mysterious agent played by Michael Kelly, who hands him a business card with the G.I. Joe logo on it. Because of Noah's experience, he has actually been recruited to that top secret military organization that many of us loved growing up. This crossover has been teased for many years, with Bonaventura calling it a possibility back as early as 2014. Having Transformers and G.I. Joe together is a big deal, as it never happened before in live action or even in animated form. There were crossovers in the comics beginning with 1986's G.I. Joe and the Transformers, but that was it. The movie is very likely to be the next entry in the Transformers franchise following Rise of the Beast. A film, we said in our review, proves that the Transformers franchise accelerating in the right direction and delivering solid Autobots action and a solid voice cast behind the infamous robots in disguise. That's courtesy of IGN, so take that with a pinch of salt. But as for this, very interesting. That's pretty much like Transformers and GI Joe, as the article kind of alludes to, pretty much like an 80s kid's dream. Of course, there's two very big franchises. Two franchises, definitely no strangers to the movies. I'm not quite as familiar with the GI Joe lore as I am with the Transformers lore, but so having a crossover movie of that nature is gonna be an interesting one, and considering it's is following the same continuity as Rise of the Beast, I imagine this will also be live action. But yeah, so we'll see how it goes down here. This is gonna be an interesting one, and again, if you're an '80s kid, you are in heaven right now. But next up is the Tomb Raider anime. We are getting a Tomb Raider. It looks like it was an anime, but it looks like probably just an anime series, and likely just in the style of anime. Has gonna be. But it's called Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft. This is an excerpt from its Wikipedia article saying Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft is an upcoming American animated action adventure television series based on the Tomb Raider video game series by Crystal Dynamics, starring Haley Atwell as the voice of Lara Croft. The series is set in the same continuity as the video game reboot trilogy that started in 2013 and takes place after the events of the 2018 game Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And Tasha Huo serves as showrunner with Legendary Television and DJ2 Entertainment producing. The series is animated by Powerhouse Animation Studios in Austin, Texas. Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft is scheduled to premiere on Netflix on October 10th of 2024. So very interesting that Tomb Raider is getting an animated show here, and as I mentioned, and following the continuity of the reboot series, that's Tomb Raider, then Rise of the Tomb Raider, then Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Only he played the first game that was way back when on the channel. That was like one of my earliest reviews a couple years ago. So I gotta finish the rest of the series. At least the reboot series, and see if I can go back to play the OGs. But between this series coming out, which of course Haley Atwell, definitely you may know her as Peggy Carter from within the MCU. But so between this and then Tomb Raider being added to the PlayStation Plus library, on PS5 through the PlayStation Classics catalog, being added to that Classics catalog. Seems like there might be something big coming for Tomb Raider, for the Tomb Raider IP. So we'll see what's happening. And it being based off the reboot, that makes sense. That's the more recent of the Tomb Raider, so continuing going in that direction of the video game, that being the 2013 reboot video game. So going in that direction does make quite a bit of sense. So we'll see how it unfolds from there. And let me know if you guys are excited for it. And I got some Tomb Raider catch up on, admittedly. But the next thing we're talking about is that Venom: The Last Dance and is on its way. So Venom: The Last Dance is the third in the Venom trilogy. That of course being Venom and Venom Let There Be Carnage. But it looks like it's also going to be the final movie in the Venom trilogy. He is supposed to release on October 25th. So all the Venom movies is coming out in that October time frame. And which does make sense, and so October is like very scary, very spooky Halloween season, and so Venom, I'm kind of scary in that regard as well. So it coming out in October does make quite a bit of sense. So I did break my tradition a little bit. I actually did see the trailer only because, and the only reason because my dad actually saw it first, and at first he saw a guy that he thought was John Moxley. I checked it out just for that, seeing where this guy was, and I did see him. He did look quite a bit like John Moxley, but it ultimately was not him. But yeah, so. Interesting here. So I haven't seen the second one, so I might go back and watch that one. From what I heard, it was not great, but we'll see how this one unfolds. I know some people kind of hit or miss when it comes to the Venom series up to this point, and even some people pointing out in this trailer that not looking the best and even from like the first movie. I remember, right, it was a while ago, so my memory is a bit foggy, but even that first movie, not the greatest, but we'll see what they do with The Last Dance here, and if it indeed will be The Last Dance and what they pull off. Apparently, according to Sony, Spider-Man is canon here, so we'll see if Spider-Man does indeed make an appearance. This universe does indeed have its own Spider-Man, and who, if I'm not mistaken, has yet to appear. But yeah, so. But we'll see how it continues. We'll see how this movie unfolds here. And I guess I also got to catch up on the Venom movies as well, or at least the second Venom movie. So I probably will do that at some point. But yeah. So and someone I saw on Twitter even pointed out how we make an appearance from Null. So Null kind of like the first symbiote, if I'm not mistaken. And if my knowledge of comic lore is correct, which it probably isn't, but Null being one of the original symbiotes, one of the original creators of the symbiote. So him making an appearance and possibly, but that's kind of speculation. But we'll see as this movie comes out. But next, the next thing we're going to talk about is that Ricochet we may have just seen the last of Ricochet in WWE. So this actually broke a couple weeks ago that Ricochet had given his notice that he's not renewing his contract. His contract is set to expire, or they said within the summer, so around June or July. Or August even, and so saying Ricochet not renewing his contract, so maybe on his way out of WWE, and so having him being pretty much demolished on Raw at the hands of Braun Breaker. That's how you write someone off. But Braun Breaker just demolishing Ricochet. They say it may be their way of writing him off. There is a chance that Ricochet could come back, and they definitely did kind of leave it open ended. They said Ricochet is gonna be out for an undisclosed amount of time, which might mean forever because he's not coming back. So they did kind of leave it up in the air, but if this is the end of Ricochet, they did like end off Ricochet, at least in terms of character, at least in terms of on screen. As for Ricochet's decision, I can't say I blame him. Like Ricochet has always been, and I'd argue Ricochet has always been like one of the biggest what if stories in like modern WWE. Like with someone as with as much ability and talent as him his booking has definitely been head scratching to say the least. He's even kind of within the Triple H regime. And yeah, Triple H he can't push everybody. You can't push everybody all at once, uh, but even like under Triple H and everything, Ricochet always felt like he could have and should have been doing more. Do I think they necessarily should have popped the World Championship on him? I'm not sure about that, but at least make him look a lot more competent and credible instead of a boring on full on jobber. I don't think he was ever full on jobber. He definitely came very close to it, but very much in like the lower mid card win, and he definitely had the ability to be in the upper mid card, even in NXT. Him being presented really well, winning the North American Championship. Surprised he didn't win the NXT Championship, but yeah. So it always felt like they could have really done more with Ricochet, and that he really should have done more. Or they did give him some mid card title wins, like he was Intercontinental Champion, he was United States Champion, but it always felt like there could have been more. And even when he did get a crack at the world title, like when he faced Brock Lesnar at, I believe it was Super Showdown of 2020, if I'm not mistaken, and even that wasn't great. And that's one of the big things that a lot of people point to when they talk about how very mediocre and lackluster Ricochet's booking overall was in WWE. Was Ricochet gonna win the match against Brock Lesnar? No, but a 1 minute squash. A 1 minute squash, that's the best you can think of with Ricochet. Ricochet's so creative, such an interesting high flyer. Someone with surprising strength and like unreal agility. Having a 1 minute squash against Brock Lesnar, that's the best you can come up with. If you gave AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan kind of David versus Goliath battles, you couldn't do the same for Ricochet. So for that, I say I don't blame him. And is there a chance he could come back? In the near future, is there a chance he could change his mind? Of course, but for now, if Ricochet is wrapping up with WWE, if he truly is on his way out the door, it's kind of is going back and forth like it's being reported, it's being pulled back, stuff like that. And so it is a bit up in the air. But if Ricochet is ending off his career in WWE and moving on to greener pastures and everything, then Ricochet, wishing you absolutely all the best, and definitely hope you find that success and everything. Some people have speculated whether or not he'll show up in AEW, whether or not he'll revive the Prince Puma character, but definitely wishing Ricochet all the best. But some people also speculate whether or not Samantha Irvin was leaving. I doubt Samantha Irvin. Like, obviously, they're a couple and everything, but I doubt Samantha Irvin's leaving, and especially with her being so integral as being like that's kind of taking that place as like the main ring announcer within WWE. Like, there's no way they're letting her go without a fight. But yeah. So Ricochet, hey, thank you for all the memories you have given us in WWE, and definitely wishing you all the best as if you are indeed moving on to different company and everything. But the last thing I want to talk about is that today is Father's Day. So to all the awesome and amazing fathers out there, the fathers who are present and everything for her child, who are our heroes, our inspirations, our sources of strength, and happy Father's Day to each and every one of you, including my own dad. And of course, later on tonight, to celebrate Father's Day, similar to what I did for Mother's Day, I'm reviewing one of my dad's favorite movies, which is Purple Rain. So stay tuned for that review later on tonight. Hey, but again, to all the awesome fathers out there, happy Father's Day. But nevertheless, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends, and turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, so you see as soon as it drops. And let me know in the comments your thoughts on anything I talked about in this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.